Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Bad Bubba Brewer, and I am your host for the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty, where we are going to preview Saturday night. That's right, Saturday night's all right for fighting. We are going to preview the Steelers' Monday night game versus the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I don't know how many people are tuning in because it is Saturday night. We did a show before Thanksgiving. So everybody might be eating turkey and still drinking some beer, and that's okay. I'm going to get my stuff done, and hopefully some people chime in on the Facebook, on my official site, on my personal page of the Facebook, jumping right in Saturday and a little bit after 26 after 7. So I just want to say the Steelers. Hey, Shane, thanks for tuning in. Good old Shane Stodmiller, the special correspondent to the Triple B Experience. Tuning in tonight. We are going to review the Monday night matchup. The Steelers lead the series against the Colts 26-6. The Steelers ate too much turkey. I hope not Monday. Hopefully they digest their food because it's prime time, Shane. And the Steelers are very, very good on prime time. Speaking of prime time, the Steelers' all-time Steelers Monday night record is 54-31-1 on Monday night. I believe Mike Tomlin is 18-3, I believe, but I could be wrong. I'm just doing it on the top of my head. And the Steelers, last time they played the Colts, they beat them 28-24. Little high scoring. Actually, that's because they had Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. So it's on November 28th. Kickoff is 8:15. On ESPN at Lucas Oil Stadium. And the Colts are favored 2.5 points. 2.5 points, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Robbie, thanks for tuning in to the Black and Gold Dynasty show. Let's get your thoughts about the upcoming Monday night matchup, Robbie. 2.5 point favorites, the Colts are. I know they're in home, and they're having a lukewarm season like our Steelers. The only time I saw the Colts this year, they played Denver, and it was a real shootout. And I'm kidding. It was not a real shootout. It was an offensive disaster on both sides of the team. So let's get to some Colts leaders on their offense. The quarterback, Mr. Ryan, he has thrown 247. He's completed 247 passes out of 357 for 2,403 yards. 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Shane says, take the Steelers with the 2.5 points. Yeah, I would definitely take that. The over, probably take the under. Hey, Dan, thanks for tuning in. Fellow he's a Kansas City fan. I like a Kansas City fan tuning in to looking at our dismay this year. And I will say, Dan, your team is probably the strongest team in the AFC right now. And thank God we don't have to play them right now. That's all I got, because we are not ready to play on that upper echelon of the AFC teams. We are not. So get back to the running backs. Jonathan Taylor, 161 rushes, 693 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Megan Booterball, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving to you. 161 rushes, 693 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He is going to be a force in the Colts backfield. Receivers, Michael Pittman Jr., 67 receptions, 678 yards, 1 touchdown. So those are some of their receivers. How you doing, Meg? Those are some of their offensive stats going into Monday night. I just wanted to get a little bit, but let's get to the Colts. Robbie says, well, the Steelers always play down to their competition and have a high school coaching staff, and I could see them losing Monday night. Yeah, I mean, everybody that I wanted to win didn't, because the draft in order here, Pittsburgh can get a little higher up than where they're at 8th. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Meg. So the Colts defensive leaders, or defensive end, Yannick Najir, leads the Colts. Maybe I'm mispronouncing his name. It happens. Leads the Colts with 6.5 sacks. And 4 Colts players are tied with 4 interceptions. So the defense is probably just as good as the Steelers, and the Colts are probably matched up really like this, neck and neck, really. Matt Ryan is their quarterback, has experience playing in a Super Bowl and actually costing the Atlanta Falcons a total demise when they had the Tom Brady comeback from the depths of hell in that Super Bowl. And he's not the same Ryan. He's not the Matty Ice of old. But I believe that Robbie says there's no point in winning, just tank the rest of the season. Playoff hope's been dead. Yeah, we're not getting into the playoffs. Hey, Larry, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. High school coaching staff when you're ranked 31st out of 32. Yeah, it's atrocious, Larry. You probably know how to put a better offense than Matt Canada, because you probably are very articulate in what you do when you do your stuff. You know, you can damn near build a bike. So I'm sure, you probably could put a couple plays in that are probably way better than Matt Canada. And I'm still at hashtag fire Matt Canada. And we're not going to get rid of him, people. We're just going to have to ride this bear out. And hopefully he had some comments and stated that I think he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, and he is not. So the Colts injury report: Grove Stewart, defensive tackle, is questionable. Dennis Kelly, offensive tackle, is questionable. Their sack leader, Yannick Nakru, defensive end, is questionable. Kalen Garson, defensive end, is questionable. And DeForest Buckner, nose tackle. These guys are all questionable, and I believe these guys are all going to play come Monday night. Their injury report is actually everybody's pretty good. Robbie says Mike Tomlin's arrogance and faith in Canada is offensive. I just think that Matt Canada's arrogance also of trying to get these red zone plays. I know we scored 30 last week, but the second half we didn't even show up. Shane says, Bubba Brewer, what do you think of the Bengals' comments about seeing the same plays? Well, I agree with them. Shane. They know it's coming. The jet sweep, the pitch to Gentry like that. Ridiculous, Shane. And so if they can see it coming, we can see it coming. Like Tomlin doesn't. Like Robbie says, his arrogance in those press conferences are unreal. And Robbie just says, I bet Tomlin don't fire. I hope they do. I don't want to take that bet because it would be there's nothing to prove with Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator at all. Leftover plays. Hey, Billy Zach, thanks for tuning into the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show. So let's get to some Steeler talk, because we played some. I mean, we always play the Colts. We beat them in the play. We're like 5-0 in the playoffs against them. We play them pretty good. I remember the one time that Peyton Manning lit us up on a Monday night game, and that was the year we went to the Super Bowl and won. And that was the year that Big Ben had the shoelace tackle, and then Jerome Bettis, had the ball on the 1 or 2, and everybody thought and that's the fumble, and that's when Big Ben made that shoestring tackle. I'm sure every Steeler fan has that. I know I have it somewhere. I have it. Matter of fact, I have a couple plays. Matter of fact, it's over here on the side of my wall, the Big Ben shoestring tackle against the Colts in the divisional playoff game. I have it. Every Steeler fan has it, because that's probably one of the greatest tackles, because that would have cost us our title run in 2005. That is correct, Shane. So I don't know. This game is going to be, like Robbie says, we need a tank to get the higher draft picks. The Detroit Lions didn't win like I wanted them to the other day. And probably, Chicago tanks a little more. Houston, like it'll be rough. It'll be rough. Like I would like to get us. I just like to see. Here's what I like to see, guys. Before I get into my Steeler takes, I would just like to see the Steelers be competitive. Okay, just be competitive. They're not competitive offensively. I know Kenny Pickett has not done any turnovers in the last 2 games. That's good to see, and I want to make it a 3rd game. But I also want to see Kenny Pickett hand the ball off. But also, too, let's get to this, because this has been big talk in Steeler Nation, and then he's been talking, and then Mike Tomlin's been talking about it's like, where's Waldo? Where is Dante Johnson in the Steelers offense? I have no idea. I don't think they should have paid. Hey, Sean Cecily, thanks for tuning into the Triple B Black and Gold. I don't think that they should have paid Dante Johnson this salary, and I think they needed him to let him work this year in his final year in the contract and then see what he was doing. Because Dante Johnson is averaging this year 8.9 yards per catch. Now, get this, and I would have never thought this because this guy was in the Pro Bowl last year. He had a great season last year. Of course, Ben was quarterback, but he hasn't scored a touchdown since last January when we beat the Cleveland Browns. Jesus Christ, that is just god awful. He's non-existent right now because every time he catches the ball, he takes 3 yards back. He doesn't break free. He doesn't get open. I just don't know if he has any chemistry with him and Kenny Pickett. I don't know. Kenny Pickett's chemistry is with Pratt Freiermuth and George Pickens right now. But Dante needs this. They needed to do something. I don't know what the formulated plan that they have, but also too, guys, Kenny Pickett doesn't have to throw for 45 times a game like he did last week. That is unheard of, and it's not going to help him at all. Is that him? Is that on him though? It could be, Shane. It could be, but also too, you're telling me Matt Canada is that stupid not to have a Pro Bowl receiver and get him into the offense though? Is he that of a jackass that he's not even having plays with Dante involved into the offense? Because Dante could break open some nice plays. He has in the past. But like I said before, he hasn't scored a touchdown at all this year. So I just don't know. And also we don't know, the Matt Canada play calling is just atrocious. And like you said, Shane, if they know it's coming, I mean, all they got to do is sit back. Larry says Pickett can't complete plays when he has a poor offensive coverage, and every team that play reads every play they're making. Yeah, and that's true, Larry, and he shouldn't be throwing the ball as much as he has. Like, 17 or maybe 19, 20, maybe 27, 28 times, not 45. Not 45. And then like the Steelers are averaging 154 yards of rushing over the past 3 weeks, up from 87.8 in their first 7 games. So with Najee, now with Jaylen Warren, which he's not going to be playing, I'll get to the injury report. He's not playing, and with Pickett running around too, and then a couple jet sweeps with Pickens, that average has got real steady and got some consistency in the rushing. But the Steelers' offensive line have to get some push. The Colts' defense are not slouches by any means necessary. This is going to be a very defense running the ball kind of game because the Colts are going to run the ball. The Colts are going to run the ball, and our Steelers' front seven have to stop Taylor. They have to stop him, or it's going to be a long night. But also, too, let's get to the Steelers' injury report. Tight end Connor Hayward, he did not practice. I think he had an illness. He'll probably be, I don't think it's COVID or anything. He probably had too much turkey. I don't know. Cornerback Akeelia Witherspoon will be out for Monday's game. Running back, like I said, Jaylen Warren is out, hamstring. Those guys, like Witherspoon has a he must have one tragic, serious hamstring because he's been out for like 5 to 6 weeks now. And that hamstring must be brutal on him. Probably can't cut or whatever. Receiver Miles Boykin was limited. The center, Mason Cole, limited. And offensive lineman guard James Daniel was limited. But I believe all 3 of these guys will be playing. I believe Friday they were at full participant in practice because we need all hands on deck if we're going to try to compete with the Colts, if we're going to be trying to go and try to win our 4th game. And realistically, guys, it's prime time. So it's a different kind of Steelers prime time on Monday nights than any type of 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock games. Hey, Travis, thanks for tuning into the Black and Gold Triple B Dynasty show. It's a different kind of enigma is Monday nights. Monday nights for many years since the 90s, the Pittsburgh Steelers were badass, just pound the shit out of you on Monday Night Football. And like I said, I think Tomlin is 18-3, I believe. Tomlin gets them ready for prime time. Now, I know it's an away game, but hopefully they simplify what they try to do. If they play like they did in the first half against Cincinnati, they have a good shot of actually winning this game. But if they play like they played in the second half when the defense just didn't shut anybody out and let the second string running back of Cincinnati, score touchdowns, if they don't stop Jonathan Taylor, we are in trouble come Monday night. And then Buck and Troy Aikman, and Troy Aikman's going to be calling some. He's going to be calling some plays out. If Kenny Pickett's not playing up to par, Aikman's going to call him out if he can remember. If he's not drunk, he's going to be calling out. So I just would say this. I just defensively, the front seven has to stop. TJ Watt has to have a game, has to have a sack, has to pressure Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan can cause a fumble. Pittsburgh can win the turnover battle. I believe that the Steelers will win the turnover battle Monday night. I believe with Highsmith has nine and a half sacks, and you got TJ Watt. And I believe that the tackle, one of the tackles, I guess, on Highsmith's side is a rookie. He's not that good. So if Highsmith can get some sacks and TJ can just penetrate and do whatever he's been doing the last two games, but they also need to stop Jonathan Taylor. If they stop Taylor, maybe knock him out like they did Joe Nixon last week, I'm okay with that. Even if we win the fourth game, Robbie and anybody else is still listening, we're still in the top from the draft picks, guys. We still got to play. We got a weak schedule now, but that doesn't matter. We just aren't up to par, and there's no. And anybody thinks that the Steelers are going to win and go to the playoffs, they're crazy. They're crazy. So, but let's get to 3 keys to victory. Now, I know you guys are saying stuff, and I know Bill Cowher said some stuff. Now, and this is one of my keys to victory. Will Jeff Saturday outcoach Mike Tomlin? And Jeff Saturday is 1-1 because the Colts almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles last week by 1 point. Does Mike Tomlin get outcoached by a non-coach? That'll be something to say. I do like Jeff Saturday. I like his press conference when he talked and stuff, and I just liked him. He was a tough player. Will he get his team ready on Monday night? That's prime time. He's going to show, and he's going to show the world Monday night. He's going to roll some dice. Hey, Freight Train, happy Thanksgiving to you. And let me ask you, Freight Train, because I got my 3 keys to victory, and one of my keys, do you think Jeff Saturday will outcoach Mike Tomlin Monday night? It's going to be tricky because Mike Tomlin has been outcoached by a special teams guy in Cleveland in the playoffs. Mike Tomlin has been outcoached many times, especially by Bill Belichick, of course. And some people that we wouldn't think would be a good coach outcoached him. Will he be outcoached by Jeff Saturday in Saturday's third game? I hope not. But also, too, Pat McAfee told fucking Bill Cowher to shut the fuck up on his podcast show because Bill said it was a travesty. But you know what? It might change the whole course of how they look at getting coaches now. They just bring somebody in during the week. Okay, Freight Train's got something, 100%. Saturday's out to prove something, and Tomlin is rolling with the punches to get through the season. I knew you'd come up with that answer, Freight Train. I knew it. And anybody that's listening, you can listen to the Freight Train on Steelers Realm podcast, and he does a show right after every Steeler game, Off the Rail. I was a guest on his show last week. All I know, it's Monday night. It's going to be late, so I don't know if Freight Train's going to have a show that late because he's like everybody else. He's got to work. You know what I mean? We didn't win the Powerball yet, so we could retire and just do Steeler podcasting shows. But I agree with you. I think Jeff Saturday has something to prove, and that was one of my keys. Can Mike Tomlin make himself the coach that everybody thinks he is and outcoach Jeff Saturday? Freight Train says, Monday night we will be live after the game. Everybody come and participate. So everybody live after the game, Freight Train will be on Steelers Realm podcast. I will share that on my Facebook like I always do. When he gets on there, it'll be raw. It'll be uncut. It'll be uncensored. So, okay, my second key to victory, and I think this guy has been coming on as long as he doesn't hurt anybody, and as long as he can average. I want to see him get 100 yards, which might be tough this week, but I want a 100-yard game out of Najee Harris. I want Najee to control the tempo of the Steelers offense going to Indianapolis. I want to see him carry the load because I don't need to see Kenny does not need to carry the load. And like I said before, Kenny Pickett does not need to throw 45 times a fucking game. Matt Canada, come on, dude. You're trying to fucking help this guy out. Why make it so? And I think we're going to have McFarland is going to be, or Benny Snell will be the second running back to give Najee some rest. We shall see. But also too, hey Kenny, if it's a first down and it's third and 4, and you can run for it and get the first down, you go out of bounds right after that. You don't need to go down the field 20 yards and then slide and have some crazy kind of shit. Freight Train's like, I agree. The team hasn't put 4 quarters together on either side of the ball at any position. They haven't done anything all year long. Travis says, why can't they? Why ain't Tomlin fired yet? I think it's Tomlin. They're never going to fire Mike Tomlin, Travis. And I wish they'd fire Matt Canada, but they won't this year because they don't do that, and I can't see that happening. But I wanted to see the offensive quarterback coach Sullivan could have done some plays, and he could have simplified the offense to made bum. Well, they're all bums right now on that coaching staff. There needs a whole coaching overhaul. Terrell Austin needs to go too, and Matt Canada. Okay, you're talking about Matt Canada, Austin, anybody that's not up to par. All these, the old line coach needs to go. The receiving coach needs to go. They need to blow it up. Tomlin's not going to go anywhere, and he could go too. He's not going to go anywhere. And there's coaches out there. A fresh approach of a coach that wants to make a name for himself. You fire Austin and put Brian Flores in as your defensive coordinator because no one's going to take Brian Flores right now anyway because the Steelers' defense is not dangerous and it's not intimidating anybody in the NFL right now, which is sad. I know TJ's back and he's a one-man wrecking crew, but nobody is intimidated by the black and gold defense anywhere, anytime this year. And it's a sad thing to say because Blitzburgh, there is no electricity in Blitzburgh. I believe we only have like 15 sacks, so maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I'm not sure, but it's not the way. Everything can't be on TJ Watt. Other people need to step up, and nobody's been really, really stepping up, really. Well, okay, maybe Highsmith, 9.5 sacks, but I expect that. You expect the other guy on the other side to carry the load. I do. I hopefully everybody does too. So, Freight Train, I agree with Flores' take. Look what he's done with the linebackers. May have saved Bush's career. And Freight Train, now, do you think, Freight Train, that they're going to sign Bush? I believe they probably will sign Bush economically sound in the Dollar General bin. Let me know what your take is on that. I'll pay attention to get some other stuff done while I look. I hope. Okay. Well, I would maybe move Terrell Edmonds a linebacker, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a defensive guy. I used to be, but the NFL has passed me by. I'm old school. Okay, so my third keys to victory, like I said before, the Steelers' run defense has to stifle and contain Jonathan Taylor and shut down their running game. So that's what they have to do on that key to shut him down. Freight Train said he's really turned it on. Maybe the play he's supposed to be making and has been tackling better. Okay. So he's going to be, they pay him $500,000 instead of like $1.5 million. I don't know. They're going to sign him. I bet you they sign him They'll let him explore other teams and see if they sign him. But you know what though? If someone else signs him to bigger money, see you later. I guarantee there's people out there, and then that just shows that us trading for him, uh, we didn't get the good fair share deal out of that on that trade. Maybe we did when he first appeared, and then he just couldn't read the coverages, and he wasn't intelligent enough for me. And especially having your dad comment, when you're not playing good is another, you know, have your dad just sit at home and shut up. That'd be good too. Freight Train, I wouldn't overpay him, but he's still young. Okay. Spillane might be gone after this year too, though. Travis says, I think we can stop the run. It's more like, can we stop the passing to win on defense? I believe our offense will show out good Monday night. All the receivers will be good. Well, it's Monday night. Like I said, it's prime time. Pittsburgh in prime time. 2.5 point spread. I believe. I'll give my take. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-17. 23-17. I don't think they're going to score 30. I'm looking at the turnover war will be won by the Steelers because they won't turn the ball over. I believe the Colts will, Matt Ryan will fumble due to TJ Watt coming in like a motherfucker and causing a fumble. I believe icy Matt, icy light there, guy, is not gonna do it. Matty Ice, not icy light. Sorry, my mistake. Matty Ice. I don't drink Matty Ice. I drink icy light, and I need to drink a lot more light stuff because it's the holidays. But I tell you what, like I said, 23-17 Steelers Monday night against the Colts on ESPN, 8:15 kickoff. And I am so glad that you guys tuned in and a few people tuned in. And Freight Train, like I said, Freight Train's off the rails right after the Steeler game on Steelers Realm podcast. He's one of the co-hosts on that. If you guys have not subscribed to their show, they do Steelers shows on their podcast shows twice a week. Freight Train says TJ should have 3.5 stacks this game. Their tackle is having a terrible first year. I hope so. I like to see TJ get some sacks because he's pretty close to James Harrison. I know you know that because you know your Steelers stat. He's very close to James Harrison. Can he tie up James Harrison as a sack leader in the Steelers organization, or does he overcome James Harrison for the sack leader this year? We have to wait and see. We got some more games. And also James Harrison and Hines Ward is still a finalist in for the Hall of Fame. We'll have to wait and see. They haven't got cut yet. But like I said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty. We were talking Steelers in this review. The preview. I'm going to review after the preview of the Monday night Colts game. What is your take if Ward can get into the Hall of Fame? I would like to say Hines Ward. I don't know. I think a couple of his stats in his later years will cost him. A lot of people don't like Hines Ward, but I loved Hines Ward as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I love them. Hey, Jason, thanks for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show. I love Hines. Whoever doesn't like fucking Hines Ward as a Steeler fan, you know what I mean? Just take a walk off a short pier. Hines Ward was the tenacity and the fucking ingredients of black and gold, blocking people and just getting downfield and getting receptions and just being a consummate professional on the field. Now, I know he always wanted to win, baby, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. 3rd-round pick out of Georgia, man. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I hope he gets into the Hall of Fame, but also, too, guys, they don't want every Steeler in that needs to go up to go to the Hall of Fame. We have our own wing at Canton, which is a great wing to have, and I need to go down to see the Steelers, the one down at Ashshore Stadium. I call it Heinz Field. Larry says, Tomlin and the rest of the coaches have an extremely bad habit of dropping out of the game in the second half when they're leading. What is your take on that? Well, they've done that twice. They've done this twice when they were leading against Cleveland, Larry, at 14-13. And then last week when they were leading 20-17, they don't make any adjustments. And Tomlin doesn't make any adjustments for, I believe, like any time. Even if they're losing, they don't even make adjustments. Now, they didn't even make anything against the Dolphins. They could have won that game. Like, there is games that they could have won. They could have beat Cincy last week. They could have definitely beat the Jets. I think him pulling a trigger on Kenny Pickett way too early was feeling it. he was feeling the Steeler fans yelling in his ear, and I believe Pickett should have went in like the Eagles game. But that's just my take. And then the Patriot game was a total debacle. So that's when you're up, you should not, you're getting the ball, especially when you're scoring, Larry. It was 2017 going into the locker room. Pittsburgh Steelers get the ball back. So they just come out 3 and punt. You can't do that. You got to score. Even if it's a field goal or something, you still need a score coming right off. That's like an extra Christmas gift. We don't do that. We don't have the desire to step on people's throats and crush them because, Larry, the Pittsburgh Steelers organization right now are not intimidating at all. It's ridiculous. The Pittsburgh fans are we just feel it. It's not as a Steeler team like we're used to. This is an off year. Like, look, this is the year that it finally has trickled down from the last couple years, from the Duck Hodges to the Mason Rudolph when Big Ben got hurt, to that year, to the trickle-down effect. But see, I always feel, Larry, it's been a trickle-down effect since we lost to Jacksonville 45-42 when we had the greatest offensive skilled players in a long time and we didn't produce. So, hey, Chris, thanks for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty. That's what I feel. I feel Tomlin doesn't do any adjustments, Larry, and he never will. And with Miss Matt Canada fucking as our offensive coordinator, we have to gamble every week because this guy wants to pat himself as a high five just getting a touchdown and like he's been there before. And honestly, he's never been there before because he's never been an offensive coordinator in the NFL. And after the Steelers get rid of him, I hope they do. He's never an offensive coordinator anywhere else except for maybe the Ravens hire him. I'll take that, and then we can play him, and then they can't score no points. That would be great. And they could take Terrell Austin and let him go too. Like it's bad. It's just bad because we're just mediocre. The standard is not the standard anymore. There's no accountability and there's no execution when you have to. You have to execute and you have to be confident in what you're doing. We are not a confident team right now, but we're going to be confident enough Monday night because I'm going to go with the Monday night nostalgia of Pittsburgh coming alive on Monday night like they're the Super Bowl caliber team. And they always play great on Monday night. And that's what I'm going with my score 23-17 Pittsburgh. As Tomlin would say, Shane says, we are who we thought we were. But honestly, Shane, fucking Tomlin don't even know who he is. So, I mean, and I got to deal with him. I hope he goes to Fox. I hope he goes to the CBS Sports booth. I'm okay with that. He won't leave this year, but maybe after next year he will if we can't get it up to par because this is going to be bad. Hey, Jacob, thanks for tuning in to the Black and Gold Dynasty show with your host, me, Bad Bubba Brewer. But like I said, Pittsburgh Steelers 23-17. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And if you just popped on, you can hit the replay because I'll replay it and you guys can take and listen to when it all started. Because if you just popped in, some people are doing stuff. I know it's the holiday weekend. Hopefully everybody's safe. Drink some stuff for me. Still eat some turkey. But like I said, Steelers 23-17 over the Colts Monday night. And then I'll come up with a show. Probably I'm going to try to get done Tuesday and get it out there. Shane said he's playing a Riddler in the next Batman movie, which it definitely ain't Bane because he's not tough enough to be Bane. And he's making me laugh because he's definitely a fucking Joker, not the Riddler. He's a Joker, that's for sure, Shane. But I appreciate everybody, and if you haven't hit like and subscribe, please click down below, write your comments. Tell your friends, hit like, subscribe to the Triple B Experience. I have this show, and we also have Unscripted, where we talk pulp culture, Steelers, wrestling, MCU, comic books, Star Wars. I'm telling you, we're going to have a huge end of the year show with myself, Cable, and Mav. We're going to pick our top shows, top everything, top sports moment of the year. It's a great show. We like to have everybody tune in. And if you guys haven't please hit like and subscribe on Spotify and on the YouTube channel. And then just get my likes up so I can retire and do podcasting. That'd be great. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in on Saturday night. I'm going to get ready and watch Survivor Series. And hopefully we can survive Monday in Indianapolis as we beat them 23-17. Hey, Larry, thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see your bike getting done, brother. Okay, everybody, have a great night. Have a great Saturday night. And let's go, Steelers. Rock and roll. I'll be back with a Steeler victory. Woo, Tuesday. I'm calling it 23-17. Thanks, everybody. Good night.